Outcast by Claude McKay. For the dim regions whence my fathers came, my spirit, bondaged by the body, longs. Words felt but never heard, my lips would frame. My soul would sing forgotten jungle songs. I would go back to darkness and to peace, but the great Western world holds me in fee, and I may never hope for full release, while to its alien gods I bend my knee. Something in me is lost, forever lost. Some vital thing has gone out of my heart, and I must walk the way of life a ghost, among the sons of earth a thing apart. For I was born far from my native clime, under the white man's menace, out of time. Outcast by Claude McKay tells the story of a man with the desire to go back to his African homeland, a home that is non-existent within the familiar context his ancestors once knew, as well as his feelings about living as an African-American man in white America. McKay uses a classic sonnet form and an A-B, 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 C-C rhyme scheme, meaning that for the 14 lines that make up a sonnet, the corresponding lettered lines will rhyme. For example, the first line, "For the dim regions whence my fathers came," is lettered A. It rhymes with the third line, "Words felt but never heard, my lips would frame," also lettered A. To better see the rhyming pattern, it is also helpful to look at the last word of each line. The tone of the poem is solemn, resigned, and dispirited, and may have helped McKay in choosing the rhyme scheme. By choosing this scheme, McKay requires the reader to slow down and not be distracted by obvious rhymes. Instead, it warns the reader to treat each line with thoughtfulness rather than simply dancing their way over the rhymes. The figurative language employed throughout the poem includes metaphor, personification, and symbolism. The first and most obvious metaphor used is that for Africa, previously referred to as the Dark Continent. McKay writes, "The dim regions whence my fathers came," and "I would go back to darkness and to peace." Another metaphor he uses is when he writes, "My spirit, bondaged by the body, longs," expressing a deep and instinctual desire to return to that land, but explaining he is physically bound to America. The author then personifies the Western world when he writes, "But the great Western world holds me in fee, and I may never hope for full release," essentially giving the reader the impression of the Western world having a literal grip on the man, which signifies the intense mental and physical toll that enslavement and assimilation put on African Americans. McKay uses symbolism to refer to accepting a submissive role to appease white people in the Western world when he writes, "While to its alien gods I bend my knee," but goes on to express the burden it places on him when he follows with the line, "Something in me is lost, forever lost. Some vital thing has gone out of my heart." He then states that he must walk the way of life a ghost, among the sons of earth a thing apart, clearly differentiating himself from the white men by referring to them as the sons of earth and himself a thing apart. This shows the worthlessness the man has been forced to bear as truth, and the dispirited and displaced nature of the man himself. McKay finally ends the poem with the line, "For I was born, far from my native clime, under the white man's menace, out of time." The entire theme of the poem is just what the title states. He feels an outcast. My question for you, classmates, what do you believe the author was referring to when he wrote, "Under the white man's menace, out of time"? Particularly, what do you think he meant when he said "out of time"?